What's up, everybody? I'm the BurningSkyCloud, and welcome back to Dragons with Scaly Wings. So, last episode, as you all know, we're double dating. One person, two dragons. Actually, that was two episodes. Well, technically we already knew that, but I did the barbecue with Bryce real quick, just to show the options that people need to see when they're dating him, to know which one to get, to know which ones to choose for his good ending. And we went treasure hunting with Norem. Speaking of which, I should probably pull up the stuff. Give me one moment here. Alright. I got my guide set up so I know how to get both their good endings. How many days does this guy actually spend here? A week? An envelope. Is this where... Yeah, this is where I talk with Maverick, right? Oh no, it was something different. Or maybe it is. No, I don't want to skip ahead. Let me just skip through here. Oh yeah, tell Maverick to wait. There we go, got it. I thought I might have missed it the first time, but I'm glad I didn't. Aha! And this is where the moment of truth matters. So we have two options here. The first is that you stay here and I go inside. Oh yeah, I already went through this. Yeah, we want to be the ones to go inside. All right, let's go. Because if I decided to stay there, Bryce certainly would have died. So, let's see, there's big fireworks. Everyone, when people need the most. Oh yeah, so Sebastian talks about how he won't be able to see the fireworks because he's on guard duty. But in a surprise twist, I managed to save Sebastian. Well, let me see here. Aha, and this is where it matters. Visit the witness, which is Ibsen, who we've met from the first time. Oh, it's you. I actually don't remember what voice I gave him. Can I help you? Oh, maybe I think I know what voice now. Yeah, I'm working with the police and hoped you could answer a few questions. Because I responded to your call for witnesses about last night. Right? Yes. Alright, what do you want to know? Can you tell me what happened? Sure. I was running an experiment in my home laboratory and waiting for it to finish. Around 2 a.m., I suddenly hear a few bangs outside. They reminded me of small explosions, which I think I went through most of this with him. It sounded like they were coming from just around the corner. I see. Did nothing about this seem unusual to you? Not really. I know I've caused a few similar disturbances with my experiments before. If someone else decided to take up home experimentation, they certainly have my approval. Besides, I wasn't in any position to abandon the experiment that was running at the time, or else it could have had a similar outcome. Thank you. I think that will be all. No problem. By the way, Are you going to meet with Lil Ramen again anytime soon? I don't know. Why are you asking? You've hung out with him a few times now. You see, he doesn't have many friends, and I think he's starting to like you. And that's not really unusual. It's just, if something happens the next time you meet him, don't be mad at him, okay? Okay. You know what I've learned about Lorem? Back when I started thinking about when I met Ibsen the first time and he was worried about his roommate, Lorem died. I think Lorem drowned underneath that bookshelf, and that's sad to think about, because guy was just innocently doing a treasure hunt, and he went somewhere where he shouldn't have, and he died. That's really heartbreaking to think about, honestly. That we didn't go with him, and he died, you know. And I think that if I let him die going to see Ibsen, he'd be worried. That tugs at my heartstrings, to be honest. But let me see. Second choice doesn't really matter, so... I think I'll go here to meet up with the die. Oh, yeah! Kevin. That's just me. You know what? I'm inviting him. Why don't you come over to my place later? I'd love to hear more about... Oh, yeah. Alright, I already invited him. Oh, right. And because we didn't know much about Odine... she's got new dialogue. Hey! Scoy, right? What are you doing here? I think I can just... Nope. I can't. I guess every time that, I guess every time I pick a different dragon, the dialogue... I have to go through the dialogue once again. That's interesting. I don't think I'm gonna skip ahead this time. Because I don't know if there was like any... Nope. Alright, as I thought, I could have just skipped the guy. Altogether. Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Seems I've got some messages. Let's see. Hey, Scoy. Want to meet up and go somewhere? Just the two of us? I just want to get out of my crummy temporary apartment. I'm sure we could think of something fun. Is he thinking what I'm thinking? Could be. Yeah, I know going through the dialogue is, you know, time wasting, but... just in case I miss something, you know... I just want to make sure that I don't. Hey, it's me. Do you want to meet up again? I know you're busy, but the summer festival is coming up soon. I'm not saying we should go, but we certainly could if you want to. In any case, call me back when you hear this. Well... since I'm aiming for Bryce, let's get him. Oh, that must be him. Hey, Scoy. Hey, Bryce. I know you said you wanted to get out of that small apartment of yours, but I'm not sure if mine is much different. Well, I figured yours couldn't be any worse than mine, and now that I'm seeing it from the inside, I have to say the council didn't do a bad job with it at all. I assume it's appropriate for someone with my status. Whereas the chief of police has to make do with whatever he can get. You said it was only temporary. It is, but I'm really getting sick of it, to be honest. I can imagine. Anyway, what's the plan? Oh, right. Now that's the one thing I'm bad at, trying to figure out plans. Because if someone comes over expecting me to host something and I don't have an idea, then the whole thing falls apart. I suppose board games or movies could work, or a walk out to go get something like ice cream, or that works. Yeah, or even just a burger joint. Plan? We gotta do something, right? If you want some entertainment, I could offer you a bookshelf full of it. Nah, why would we want to read books? Here, Sheridan and the Scepter of Sovereignty should be enough to last you a while. No thanks. I have enough fiber in my diet already. I suppose you're not a fan of reading then. I used to read non-stop during high school. Like every time you would see me, my nose would be in a book. Walking through the hallways, on the bus, walking my way down the driveway. I lived out in the boonies, so you know the walk was a little bit long enough for me to read a few more. And dare I say, maybe I kind of read in the car at red lights. I know, I'm horrible, I'm bad, I shouldn't be doing stuff like that, but man, when a book or a manga are good to read, you know, you can't just put it down. It's kind of sad, really, because books used to be all the rage back in the day. But now social media is taking over, you know, you can actually read online, you got those e-readers. I really hope that libraries don't become a thing of the past. Because there are still some good books out there to read. Why would I visit you just to read some crummy books? To read some crummy book. And besides, I do read from time to time. What do you read? Signs, menus, magazines. I don't think that counts. I suppose a magazine sort of counts. Let me take a look around your apartment then. Feel free. Though I'm not sure if there's anything special about it. I watched with amusement as Bryce headed for the kitchen. So that's what you're really looking for. Hey, everybody loves food. Guess what? I found something. He showed me one of the cheap bottles of wine that had been in the cupboard since I arrived. Oh, here we go again. Bryce just can't ever stay away from from the alcohol, can he? Why don't you raid the fridge while you're at it? No thanks. This will do for now. Oh, I get it. You want to play spin the bottle. Sure. We just gotta empty it out first. I assume you don't mean emptying it into the sink. Of course not. Bryce is not that kind of dragon. Of course not. That'd be a terrible waste. A terrible waste of the second cheapest wine from the store. I don't know how you humans are with stuff like that, but here, we don't throw away perfectly good things. I'm not sure this wine would qualify as perfectly good. Hey, at least it's not about... Hey, at least it's not the absolute bottom of the barrel. Now, are you going to help me with this or not? Sure. Alright, let's make it one glass for you, and the rest for me. Well, I appreciate it, Bryce. You at least, are thoughtful. You think that's fair? If I had to guess, I'd say I weigh 5 to 10 times as much as you do. So this is as fair as it gets. If you say so. I opened the kitchen cabinet to find an appropriate vessel for Bryce, but when I turned to ask him about it, he had already opened the bottle and was suckling on it like a baby. That's adorable. I suppose that means I won't have to do any dishes. How does it taste? Like wine, I guess. Cheap wine. Besides, I thought you were more of a beer person. Hey, I take what I can get. Just a few minutes later, the bottle had been emptied completely. I'm not sure if drinking like a dragon is a phrase, but if it isn't, it should be. Hey, not everyone can drink like me. True, there are people who are able to, drink better than others and hold their liquor. Of course, there are those who can't get drunk. I wonder, do people get envious when they see other people getting drunk, or are they actually relieved to the fact that they can't, lest they end up the way that some people do? I see. And now we can finally play Spin the Bottle. Don't we need more people for that? Damn, you're right. Now I drank all of this for nothing. Somehow, I think the whole Spin the Bottle thing was just an excuse so you could drink the wine. I wouldn't put it past Bryce. What? I would never do such a thing. Of course not. Well, we could still play it with just the two of us. At that point, you wouldn't even need the bottle anymore. Come on, where's your sense of funness? Is that even a word? We're here to relax. You should lighten up a bit. It's a bit hard to lighten up given everything that's been happening here. If anything, it's worse now than it's ever been. Rez's actions are threatening our agreement and, with it, the survival of everyone I know back home. But what really takes the cake is that he may have it out for me because I'm helping all of you. You want to have this conversation right now? Alright, let's have it. Just let it all out. Oh boy. He's annoyed. Yeah, why don't we talk about Maverick? He may have it out for me because he thinks I'm working with Reza. And me? I'm just here, right in the middle of this whole mess, just trying to make the best of it. What a way to ruin the moment. I wouldn't worry about it. I'd take the opportunity of the night. And then I could worry about it afterwards. Jeez. You know you're only involved in the investigation because we needed your help, right? I know, and I'm doing what I can. But that doesn't mean it's making the situation any easier. You think I don't know that? Me? The responsible one for... the one responsible for taking action our police is taking in this matter? If you want to go ahead and blame someone, just blame me. I can take it. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying this whole situation is something I'm not very comfortable with. Eh. And whose responsibility is that, huh? However you look at it, it's me. I was the one who didn't listen to Maverick back when he had his suspicions about Reza. If we had acted then, this whole thing might not have spiraled out of control like it did. And despite what you might think about him, he was the one who found Reza's hideout, even after I forced him into sick leave. We were practically at Reza's front door and he still got away somehow. If I had done something different, we might have caught him. Let this be my official apology to you. I apologize for anything I might have done to wrong you. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this and having to involve you in our work while trying to fix this whole mess. Because in the end, this is all my responsibility. You don't need to apologize for anything. Oh shit! Seriously, did we have to have this conversation right now? Just when things were starting to get good? He hurled the empty bottle against the wall on the other side of the room where it shattered into pieces. Freck. Then what do you want me to do, huh? Whoa. I have never seen Bryce so pissed before. I don't know. Well, shit. Damn, this really changed the mood. I was really getting excited. I was really getting into it, and then I just had to go and screw it all up. Because apparently well, not me personally, the character I'm playing, who is me, had opened his big dumb mouth and ruined the whole evening. Damn, I want to give Bryce a hug. Do you think it's easy for me? Seeing so many people die on my watch. Do you think I don't keep asking myself the same questions? What I could have done differently? And if that would have made a difference? You think as chief I'd be used to it by now. But I'm not. How could someone ever get used to this? It's my duty, you know. But I can't save them all. Never could. True. As much as you try to save everybody, the truth of the matter is you can't. Even if it's from themselves. Because no matter how much you try to appeal to them, to plead them not to end it, in the end, all you can really do is know that you tried. And try not to feel guilt or remorse over it. It's a very cool world out there, you guys. That's why we gotta live what we can. Make the most of what we make. Make the most of what we do. Because as the saying goes, tomorrow is never really guaranteed. So, just live life to the best that you can make it. That's all I have to say on the matter. You've been to more than enough crime scenes by now. How have you remained so calm? Do all those who have died not matter to you? I'm sorry for making you look at a corpse on your very first day here, but you know I had to. Your help here has been invaluable, and it's not like I could ask anyone else. It's the same for me, really. Sure, they could ask someone else to be chief, but if I'm the one who's best suited for the job, who am I to reject that? Otherwise, I'd have to blame myself for every mistake the other chief made. Is that why you drink? It might come to as a surprise, but actually, the alcoholic police chief used to be a huge stereotype in our world. Really. You wouldn't believe it. Actually, I do. The research about alcoholism in the police force is out there, but the general populace doesn't know about it. It's all just internal documents. I think I kind of get it. You know, the stuff that dispatched responders see, you know, they've got to have an outlet. Because if they don't, you know, our minds will definitely fracture. Why don't people know? They don't want to know about unhappy things like that. Besides, they trust their chief. If they knew about it, maybe they'd start to have their doubts. I thought it was common knowledge that you visit the bar fairly often. Often enough that you're friends with the bartender. I don't know. Maybe they don't realize how it affects me. They see someone who can drink a lot and does it for fun. They don't realize what it means. Yo. You know, and the thing is, it's not just first responders. Just because people drink doesn't mean that they're just drinking for the fun of it. Well, when I do it, it's different for me when I do it because, you know, I'm not really an alcoholic. I don't like the idea of getting myself drunk to the point of blacking out, nor do I care to drink as often as the normal alcoholic. But most people tend to drink due to depression. And there is quite a lot of people who are in that slump. I know one person in particular, but I'm not going to say his name for the sake of keeping that private. But yeah, people drink, people smoke out of depression because, you know, they look at the world in a dimmer light. You know, considering that the upper class is having all the good stuff in life, we're the ones here struggling, and that really hits home. Just looking at all the downs in life can really affect the mood in a big way. But you know what I say? I say appreciate the little things that you have. Because when you look back on it, you'll realize that you had the kind of happiness that most other people would never dream to have. Sure, you could have all the money in the world, but money doesn't buy happiness. You may not be rich in money, but you can be rich in friendship. And I think that's worth more than all the money in the world in your bank account. What other stereotypes about the police are there in your world? That is the biggest one. I see. Well, alcoholism and suicide both are huge problems in law enforcement. Indeed they are, Bryce. Suicide? Yeah. If you have to deal with the things we do on a daily basis, it can affect you in pretty bad ways. Everyone has their breaking point. True. A person's mind can only take so much before it just hits its limit, and then you know. Let me tell you a story. So I think I mentioned it before, but I used to work at a gas station, and the thing about that is that most gas stations, you're expected to work by yourself. So can you imagine that? You're having to run the register, helping people with cigarettes and alcohol, which they buy, which the majority buy, lottery included as well. Not just that, but you also have to sweep and mop the floor. You have to clean the coffee machine. You have to clean the nozzles on the drink machine. You have to clean the bathrooms. You have to prep breakfasts and lunches and the dinners for people. Well, actually not dinners, but like, like, apologies for that. I got interrupted momentarily, but anyway. Yeah. So, like I was saying, I'm having to do the bathroom, the floors, the machine, coffee machine, the drink machine. What else? Selling cigarettes, alcohol, lottery, stocking. And it's just like, how can corporate expect you to do all of this stuff, the work of 10, maybe 20 people, while simultaneously having to stop what you're doing almost constantly just to check people out. And the self-checkout machines don't even help, because customers still come in, they still want their cigarettes, they still want their alcohol, so it's like you're stopping anyway to go take care of that. You don't get the time to really do anything else. A gas station needs at least 2 or 3 people working per shift, but the corporation doesn't want that because they want to be able to save some on money, and that's greed right there. And let me tell you, I hit my breaking point so many times. It bewilders me to this day how I managed to keep myself intact without having to snap at people. Because people could see that I was stressed to the max. But somehow, I still made sure not to snap at them, to just go off on them. And the fact of the matter is, the managers don't even care. Like, they only come in to do paperwork, and then they'll sit in that office and they'll be on their phone talking to friends and family members, and it's like, yo, this isn't the time to be doing that. You're running a store. Focus on helping me. And not even help desk could even be helpful, because they got those, you call them help desk, they got those thick accents that you can barely understand, and then they direct you to pull wires out, plug them back in, and it's just like, what are you talking about? What wires? Ugh. Long story short, gas stations are probably the worst jobs to work at, and yet, ironically, we need them to be able to get back and forth to work, for trucks to get to and from factories to the stores. And the worst part is, gas stations don't even have security. No, a person can just walk in, grab a case of beer or a can of beer, and slip it into a bag or their pants pocket and just walk out. But you know what? Enough rambling. Apologies for dumping all this rant stuff on you guys. But it was a nice, it's a story. It was a bit of a story time to relate to this. So now you know a little bit more about me. Holy shit. But I will say one other thing. I ended up leaving that job due to the fact that the manager back then was fixing to take a 2-week vacation, and because I was the bonus assistant, which is between being a manager and being an assistant manager, I was expected to take care of the entire store for those 2 weeks, which included ordering the truck, which I was only shown how to do it once. And truth be told, I would have walked out. It's not something it's not something that I would normally do, but in a situation like that, that was way past my limit. So screw that. But if you think you can handle working at gas stations, go for it. I'm not going to stop you either way. I'm just telling you all my experience from that time. Anyway, we all just cope in our own different ways. Some do it better than others. That's why I'm worried about Maverick right now. And why I wish you'd known him as long as I have. You think he's at his breaking point? He's taking this whole Reza situation very personally. I'm just worried about him, Just like I'm worried about everything else until we can sort this whole mess. Until we can sort out this whole mess. It's personal for me too. No matter what you may think about Maverick, or what he may think of you, he still found Reza's hideout, which led us to the generators. I guess you have both helped a lot in this investigation. My point with all this is, we're all a very tight-knit group at the police station. Me, Sebastian, Maverick, Naomi. The bond we form on the job is how we know to look out for each other. Right, we only met Naomi like once some episodes ago too. Back with Adine, I think. When I was doing Adine's playthrough. I'm getting hurt. I can tell you there's nothing else quite like it. What do you think? How many more have to die to stop Reza? If anything, he's more dangerous now than he's ever been before. You know how much depends on how this all turns out. Whatever happens, I'm just glad to have known you. Remember when I told you about the wooden models I'm making? I never told anyone else about that. As much as I like everyone at the department, it's just not something I can talk about with them. You saw us at the barbecue. I'd never hear the end of it. Sorry about the bottle, by the way. I cleaned it up, but don't worry about it. It was empty anyway. That's the Scaly I like. Yeah, come on. Let's just shift the mood here, shall we? Oh, you won't believe what happened with Emma at work. What did? I heeded your advice and told her the truth. Details, Bryce. Tell me everything. Well, the day before yesterday, she tried her thing again. Complained about her back pain to get a massage and asked me if I didn't want to settle down eventually. At some point, I had enough and just told her outright that I'm not interested in her. For your own sake, I hope you weren't too harsh. Hey, you said I should tell her the truth, so I did. What did you say? Just that I noticed her clear attempts at wooing me and that I'm not interested. That's all. And how did she react? Not much. She just looked at me and said, "Oh, I see." That's all? Yeah. And she stopped with comments after that. Guess that's not so bad then. Well, not really. Now she's having me do all kinds of stupid things, like guard the outside of her office door for hours on end. Maybe she's still worried about Reza. The building has its own security, so it's pretty clear that she's just doing it to get back at me for rejecting her. She's really good at hiding it, though. I'd never be able to prove it. Well, people do crazy things when they get rejected. But, in some cases, even with rejection, friendship can still remain. You won't have to be with her for much longer. Yeah, but I guess she'll just keep wasting my time until it's over. At least you tried to do the right thing. Yeah. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. If I told you that I'm a time traveler from the future, what would you say? Time travel? Isn't that something that's just happens in bad science fiction novels? Why only bad science fiction novels in particular? Don't you think there could be a good one? Let's just say all science fiction novels, because they're all bad. Huge generalization aside, what if we are in a science fiction story and time travelers are real? I'd want to see some proof of it first. That's not something you come across every day, after all. What if I confided it to you as a friend? You'd still have to show me some proof, or else I'd call you out on the joke. What if I was serious? Well, that's pretty far out. That's the kind of thing someone would make up to scam people for their money. Or something like that. Alright, let's forget about time travelers. What if I told you there was another human here besides Reza and me? This is getting kind of weird, Scaly. Just entertain me for this question. Well, unless you had some sort of proof, I'd call you crazy. As a member of law enforcement, aren't you supposed to follow up on every report? Yes, but that doesn't mean we have to believe everything. If there is no proof, we'll look for proof. If we don't find some, well, without any proof or leads to follow, there's nothing we can do anyway. I see. By the way, when you and Sebastian went to the farmhouse to go after Reza, you just left me alone with Maverick in the same room. I did? Yeah, I was worried there for a few seconds. Don't you worry about him. You mentioned that you had a talk with him about a week ago, and that didn't end badly for you either. He might be scary, but I don't think you need to be afraid of him. Okay, so each chapter isn't a complete day. That just means that, we're skipping ahead of days, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. He's got a very strong sense of justice, so he wouldn't do anything to you without a good reason. When we were alone, we had an opportunity to talk, where he made his position very clear. Did he threaten you? No, I was honest with him. And in turn, I think he was honest with me as well. Oh, really? Yeah, I had nothing to hide. If he was willing to talk, I wasn't going to turn down the opportunity. How did that go? I think he doesn't suspect me as much anymore. Guess leaving you alone with him wasn't such a bad thing after all. I suppose you could say so. I just did. What's that outside? Fireworks? Yeah, must be the summer festival. You wanted to get out of your apartment, and rather than go to the festival, you came here? The festival isn't really anything special for me anymore. Seen one, seen them all. Besides, it's usually more a thing for families, really. I see. Are those the fireworks people keep talking about? No. They have a fireworks show every evening. Nobody really even cares about the first couple of days. It's only on the last day when they bring out the big ones. I usually watch those. Oh, so if there's big explosions, then you care? Well, yeah. But it's a big tradition here. Maybe even an ideological one. You know, everyone in the whole town united under the stars, watching the beautiful fireworks. It's a thing. People have been telling me for the last few days how I just have to see them. You know, you kinda owe it to us as an ambassador to take part in a cultural event like that. I'm going to go anyway, so you don't need to convince me. Wanna come with me? I know all the good viewing spots. Most of the popular ones are usually super crowded, and we probably want to avoid those. I can't really promise anything right now, but I'll keep it in mind. Well, you've got my number, so let me know as soon as you can. Sure thing. You know, those fireworks are often a couple thing. I'm not surprised. They can set the mood for a romantic evening. Well, they're still going on outside right now. Are you saying you want to go outside and watch? No. I'm saying we could take this conversation elsewhere. Namely the bedroom. The bedroom here is nothing special. I can assure you of that. Well, it's better than the one I have right now. You know, when you slept over last time and we shared the couch, I took it as a sign. Did that mean anything to you? Where was that just two friends sharing a couch that was clearly too small for two people who just wanted to stay friends? It meant exactly what you thought it meant. Why don't we make this a little more romantic then? Share a glass of wine and see where the evening takes us. I should have another bottle in the kitchen. I'll go fetch. Yo, things are about to get spicy between Bryce and I. Sure thing. I went into the kitchen to fetch a bottle of wine and two appropriate vessels, wondering how Bryce would manage a wine glass. When I returned from the kitchen, however, I was met with an unexpected sight. Yo! Shit, I don't know what to do! Shit. Oh my gosh. What should be my thumbnail? Oh my gosh. I was gonna go with his angry thumbnail, but I don't know. This one was also enticing. By the time this video is out, you'll see which one, so I'll accept. Because I'm not screaming, nor am I rejecting this dragon. Oh my. Bryce don't hold nothing back. Bryce sprang to his feet, a somewhat embarrassed look on his face. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting that. Mm. What a tease. What is it? No, that was fine. Don't stop. Not something you've seen here before, huh? Not like that. And then, especially with my kind, they are... Well, I think you can see what I mean. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you want to just stand there and keep staring? No. I definitely wouldn't. Then why don't you come a little closer? Alright. Yo. Yo, what a passionate night. That was amazing. We got Bryce on the side. So, he'll be one of two possible candidates for the ending. I wonder if Lauren will have a good ending as well. I'm sure. If that comes to be, then I'm going to have to do double. I wonder how that would affect the menu though. But hell yeah! Oh my gosh. Uh, it went from like flirting to very heavy emotions to outright passion. Like I was not expecting this episode to go that route. You wouldn't think that for such a game of mystery and murder that there would also be uh, deep feelings thrown in. This game is outstanding. I also couldn't yell when Bryce was angry due to the fact that people tend to sleep in the mornings. So I tend to have to keep my voice down. I can't be too loud, you know. But anyway, this is where I'm going to leave the episode for right now. And next time, we'll be spending our time with Lorem. You know, now that I think about it, if both Anna and Remy have very long scenes, then those are going to have to be split for each episode. That's going to take a lot longer than I expected. And then, of course, I've got Kevin and Hatsu, what's his name? The ice cream dragon. I'm wondering something. Would I need Bryce and Anna both alive for the true ending? Because if that's the case, then once I'm done with all the others, I'll have to do a quick playthrough just to get that ending. But in the meanwhile, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed getting to know a bit of my backstory, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe to see more in the future. I don't think I have anything else to add, so I will catch you all later.